Hello and welcome to today's episode of Travel Industry with Veterans. Today we have with us, well, he's not really a veteran in terms of age, but he's been in the industry for more than 20 years. Comes from a family which has been in the travel related business for more than 100 years. And he is currently the Vice President of the Travel Agents Association of India. He's been the Chairman of the Western region. Very, very active when it comes to the association as well as in terms of promoting tourism. Jay Bhatia. Welcome, Jay.
Thanks
Pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you, Amish.
So now with 20 years in the industry, what was the industry like when you started? Where has it reached now and how have things evolved? What have been the challenges and how has the industry faced these challenges and overcome them?
Firstly, thank you for calling me a veteran, but not by age. But I guess, yes, 20 years is a long time that you survive into an industry which people said when I joined is something that, the industry is going to die out. But with challenges on hand and being young that time, even today, but with the dynamism that we had that time, we wanted to go and explore new avenues and new ventures. And with our conglomerate business of cargo, logistics, and we had connections with the airlines and the tourism boards across the country. So we decided to get into travel as well as an allied product. When things were changing when I got in, we had commissions and everything changing. The tourism boards were not participating in a lot of interactions, educational programs. So when we started, it was just mainly ticketing and making hotel reservations, getting in touch with suppliers. There were a lot of remittance issues because the RBI had issues in terms of making remittances across and how you made. Credit card was not into picture at that time. Foreign exchange was a big issue. So, we started with that, and as liberalization happened, it made a lot of difference to the entire industry. And I took it as a growth opportunity for the industry and found it to be contrary to what was advised to me to come into the industry.
That's great to hear. And I think you were one of the early players who realized that tourism is an important part. It's not just, when you're a travel agent, it's not just ticketing. You need to bring in tourism.
Well, of course, because everybody wanted to do a ticket and a hotel and sightseeing and a guide and everything. Because as Indians, if we specifically see, we need everything spoon-fed. Although we have various sites and Googles and internet available, and that was a teething phase in India at that time, and that was not into the picture. So we got into a niche market. We got into a market where luxury was not luxury was always a part of Indian culture, but where people are not doing luxury tourism, specifying in terms of spas, resorts, getting into luxury properties, and which was not being marketed into India as much. So we started to get into the association to connect with the trade, with the overseas tourism bodies, and that helped a lot. As an association, when we got into it, tourism was not a part of expansion or not a part of the industry where the marketing was not taken care of. So we got into educational programs with the tourism boards. So the tourism boards ensured that they approached TAAI, because being the nodal and the premier association where Travel Agents Association of India is since 1951, we decided to start educating the members, the frontline teams, the management on various tourism sectors. As the global development happened, people were going more on to Google to search for things. But at the end of the day, the human touch is required, and that's what Indians require the most. So that's where all of us came into the matter.
But then now over the last few years, you see a bit of a change, what we call the millennial traveler. And they don't seem to be so inclined towards reaching out to an agent. They believe in doing things more do-it-yourself type. How are you, or rather the agency community, addressing this, and how are we able to eventually going to get them back to come to us?
All of us say we need challenges every day. So I feel I've gone back 20 years when we started, what next? How are we going to do things? So those things and the perception changed, and we've come back to square one where we need to ensure that we have even the millennials connect to us. So the millennials find everything on their own, but they need somebody to connect on various issues. They require youth hostels, they require standard accommodations, they want to travel on their own, they want to experience stuff. A normal tourist in India, if you see, who is not a millennial, but a mid-aged or senior citizens who want to travel, they want everything. They are going to have a pre-planned itinerary. But the millennials want to go there, do things on their own, explore. So a normal tourist doesn't want to explore, they just want to follow the routine itinerary, a touristic itinerary as is taken. So that way, but as connection to the millennials is concerned, I mean, like I said, we are going back 20 years and we have to start working towards that. We are already working towards that, in fact, and trying to see how we can engage the millennials, because it is basically the youth starting from 18 years to around 30 years who want to do things on their own. So we are setting up online reservation systems, online portals, doing a bit of B2B marketing also. And where TAAI comes into picture, we are looking at educational programs for the frontliners as well as the agents specifically, where they know the product more than Google. So where that is concerned, I mean, you should have. So, Google will tell you which hotel to stay. But if I tell the client, you have a hotel round the corner, or a pub round the corner, or there's a party place round the corner. We've had a couple of clients who went to places like Vietnam and Cambodia, and they went and stayed in youth hostels. The party scenes that happen into youth hostels cannot imagine going into a pub as well.
So you are able to identify that for them, and
we are trying to identify. I'm not saying we've identified, because the world is large. And people want to go to different places, different venues, and unexplored destinations.
That's a millennial traveler in essence. Yeah. What are your views on the LGBTQ tourism sector? Is India ready for it? Are the agents and the local people sensitized to it? What are your views on it?
To be frank enough, we have to gear up from now, so that we don't go back again 20 years. But then we have to start gearing up for now, because the Indian market is not openly coming out to this. There are a lot of takers for this. In fact, this has started with single travelers, single women travelers, single male travelers, who were earlier not identified as LGBT, what you were trying to say, but they want to go and explore things. Does not mean they're going for favors or into relationships or in terms of sexual activities. I mean, being open enough there. They want to go and explore things on their own. They're not looking for partnerships. They're looking for exploration. So it's a misconception when you say LGBT that they're going for sexual favors across the world.
So basically, we have to treat them as a normal traveler.
Absolutely. Like I said, a single traveler. Let's treat them as a single traveler, or even if they're going in groups or with their partners. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Now coming to TAAI, you've been the chairman of Western region, you've been the treasurer, now you're the vice president of TAAI. What makes TAAI special? What is, most of the people I see who are heading TAAI are so passionate about TAAI. What makes TAAI special?
TAAI makes us special.
Wow.
We are not making something, but TAAI is making us special. I mean, over the years, I mean, it's more than 70 years that TAAI is there since existence, and being the only recognized body by the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Civil Aviation, basically from the Government of India. There are various things that TAAI has taken up, not from now, but various years. There was an airline joint bank guarantee program started way back in the 90s, where joint bank guarantees came into place. It was again revived with IATA. And those things took place. Those helped a lot of mid-sized agents and smaller agents to grow their business, because in the changing banking scenario, the banks went to ask 100% collaterals, which was getting difficult to enhance and grow your business. So where joint bank guarantees were concerned, that took place. Educational programs that we initiated, that helped a lot with tourism boards. I mean, we've done tourism roadshows with, I think, almost every country who has approached India, and TAAI has always been a part of most of the tourism boards across the country. And TAAI's reach is all across, with 20 regions and chapters who are active. So, I mean, it's not that others are not, but TAAI is very active. They have regular interaction with their members, and things go on very smoothly there.
So, you still, that passion of TAAI still shows.
Absolutely.
So, I still want to ask you, there are so many associations. What is the USP of TAAI in one sentence, if you have?
There is not one USP that I can talk about. There are multiple facets to it. Specifically, like I said, we are looking at educational programs. There has to be continuous education. There has to be a development of the trade and the fraternity. If you look at other industries and professionalism, you look at chartered accountants and lawyers, things are changing and evolving every day. Similar things are happening in travel. So if you went to London, say 5 years ago, and you go today, things are changing. So every travel professional has to be upgraded, and continuous education is a must for all.
Okay, thank you, Jay. That was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Bhatia. If you enjoyed the show today, please click like and share. Thank you.